All right, so let's go over this put position that we took earlier today. We're going to start by taking a look at the 4 hour time frame. So you guys can see on the 4 hour time frame, we have this demand zone that formed in this 600 level, and obviously we had price push out of this zone. This morning, our pre-market literally had a huge move from 610 all the way to 620. So this is the gap that we're going to have to watch out for. You don't want to like not acknowledge gaps. Gaps usually act as magnets because of the imbalance in price. So it's a giant fair value gap, basically. What we're going to do is drop to the M15 after we look at the 4 hour and see what price is doing. And then we are going to zoom in. You guys can see the gap fills right here. You can see price pulled into this and then pushed out of it. That's exactly how we use fair value gaps. We want price to pull into it, grab liquidity, and push. And this literally happened perfectly. So we have a pull into this fair value gap, and we have price grab liquidity and start to push out of it, forming a nice demand zone here and giving us a higher low, confirming that we will move back to the upside and we also have our 20 and 50 moving averages tested and pushed out of that. So you can see we are still staying in that uptrend, which is what we want to see. But this trade specifically that we took, there was two levels that we were looking out for. We have the calls that I was going to take over that swing high. So we can drop down to the 3 minute. I was going to enter those calls when we broke over 622. And you guys can see price did start getting pretty weak. So we have that initial change of character. We have big movement to the upside. We have pullback. This barely counts as a fair value gap, which is why I didn't get in the calls. I don't really take calls on that initial break. Usually there's a strong move in the first 30 minutes of market open. A lot of times it's fake price action, which makes it kind of hard to trade in. So I usually that's why you guys see me come in, to the market at like 10:30, 11 o'clock mostly. I will give the analysis and levels sometimes, but trading the mornings is really tricky. You guys can see Bryce a lot of times will get faked out or stopped out. It's because of that. A lot of the 30-minute price action is pretty hard to predict. But you guys can see we do fail and we form this double top on our 3 minute time frame. So we did end up getting into those triple Q puts under. I have to look at the level real quick. I completely forgot it. Um, we got into 618 puts for triple Q, and the entry level was under 619.50. So under 619.50 is where are we at? 619.50 is this break of structure level right here. So we had to wait for price to break below these previous support levels or resistance levels to show us that sellers were going to take control. So once we got this double top, we have price start breaking to the downside. We have this change of character right here. We have price continue down, forming fair value gaps, breaking below our 20 and 50 moving averages, breaking below our VWAP, and then we have this nice fair value gap form right here. This is what we wanted to see for that strong bearish momentum to the downside. So once we got that, we were able to take our entry on those puts, and then that position would look something like this. So we have 619.50. We have that candle body close below. We have a nice 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, depending on how tight we put these stops. And we have a nice 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio, which is definitely what we want to see. Um, Other than that, I mean, bro, this trade was pretty simple. We had a bunch of these swing levels that we can target. So it's a very easy, very simple trade. Nothing too complicated, nothing we don't normally take. And yeah. And the reason we ended up not getting into those calls is because we did not get a candle body close. So you guys can see price started to wick. There was no strength, started to go sideways. That's, not ideal. That's not what we want to see when we're trying to take a position in that direction. So there's that. And then if we wanted to take a long position, there's a couple ways we could have went about it. So I'll post a separate video later tonight showing you guys how you could have possibly taken calls and rode this wave to the upside as well. I didn't take them. I was honestly like at my grandmom's, like I told you guys, and busy at the gym. But very simple. I mean, it's a super simple trade. I'll try to start doing this daily so you guys can start to understand my brain and how um, different levels on the chart can help you look for those entries, and then we can kind of like start building and learning my strategy day by day.